Hello, it is 12/27/2025. I just felt pulled to do a card reading today, verify that I'm clear of all negative entities, implants, curses, hexes, and spells, hooks, daggers, and bindings, distortions, mimics, and overlays. Highest and best good for the collective to use the intuitive oracle card deck, angels and ancestors, keepers of the light. So I'll do a 3 deck reading for you all. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I call in the angels, the archangels, the ascendant master, source creator, Mother Sophia. In this now moment, what's the highest and best good? Reading for the collective going forward the next 21 days. Ooh, my crown is already tingling. I may get some direct messages. If I do, I'll just channel them in the moment. If you've never seen my readings before, I'm a little unorthodox. This is highest and best, highest and best, highest and best, highest and best. I use the pendulum really for your benefit, not mine. It just gives a visual verification that energies moved me for those cards specifically. Follow the signs. Pay attention to signs around you. They carry more important messages. This isn't in general. We as a culture of people are taught to ignore signs or that magic is not real or that it's our imagination. Like we're talked out of magic more than we're supported in the belief of signs. But signs are actually everywhere. The universe, your spirit team, your guides are showing you and communicating with you through signs all the time. So if you're seeing angel numbers, which is a sequence of numbers that have a definite meaning, if you're seeing the same number pattern over and over again, do yourself a favor and look up what that angel number means. If you're seeing a squirrel all the time in the same spot that's not acting like typical squirrel behavior, many times some of my guides are come to me with our deer herd. So we live out in the mountain area, and deer run through the property all the time. And the deer will come to me not because I have food in my hands, not because of any other reason than to convey a message. They come in the yard, they make eye contact. It is definitely a communication. It's not just a random event. It happens frequently. And I do receive telepathic messages from them. So if you have your clair abilities online, definitely open yourself up to receiving messages from the trees, from the wildlife, from the universe, from the stars. There are literally signs everywhere. And I can't tell you what those signs mean for you specifically in this moment, but I can tell you is that they're showing up for you, and the universe is going to keep showing you so that you have guidance along your path. If you feel like you're alone, you're absolutely not alone. Your team is showing you in signs, and it may not be a physical body coming in saying, hey, this is what you need to do, but that's tapping into your clear abilities. That's saying, okay, I believe more than just a person speaking words. Sacred space. Create a sacred space to allow your intuition to flow freely. This is really important because we get so used to the noise, right? We get into really, really toxic habits of our eyes open and we pick up our phone and we see what we missed. Well, in actuality, what you missed was your sign to leave the phone plugged in away from you during the night. When your eyes first open, that is that liminal space where you can actually connect to your guides easier. What I do is I have a morning meditation cued before I ever go to sleep. So when I wake up, I push play with my remote on my morning meditation. I don't have to do much thinking. It's not like I'm cognitively waking up and having to process things. That's how I start my day. It's not a a ritual, an altar, or anything like that, but I already have crystals near my bed. I already have my energy cleared. I can do all of that without being in a meditative space. But then I tap into my meditation and I receive my messages that way. And that's how I start my day. It works for me. It's how I end my day as well. Giving yourself a sacred space where you can turn and tune out the noise and tune into your body and drop out of the mind into the heart and receive your messages and your guidance is vital, especially now. You're looking for signs, you're looking for guidance, and you're wondering why you don't hear anything. But how are you going to hear it if you always have earbuds in playing music, or you're always on your phone, or you're always looking outside of yourself for messages when they're coming from within? Mind and heart harmony. Absolutely. When the mind and the heart align, your intuition becomes crystal clear. And this is the task for so many of us because we have to drop out of the mind because your mind is the most manipulated organ of our body. Fact. The mind is going to try to talk you out of the magic. The heart is where the truth comes through. And whenever you can bind your mind to your heart, that allows the flow of energy through everything undistorted. So, this is a part of taming the ego. The ego does not want you to connect to your benevolent guides. They want to keep you busy, they want to keep you submerged in the noise and the chaos because that's what feeds the ego is now moment action without any any contemplation of what's highest and best for the body, for the energy body, for the soul body. Tapping into the heart and pulling the mind in means that you're shushing the ego up and you're saying, yeah, 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 you've been guiding me all my life. And where has that got me? I feel more alone than ever. So I'm dropping into my heart space and I'm going to allow the flow of energy that's been trying to get my attention for a long time to finally have a stage where they can get my attention. Soul connection. Connect deeply with your soul and discover your true self. And that is the theme of this entire deck. This is an intuitive deck. Soul connection means that you really are giving more credence and power and weight to what comes through your soul energy body than anything outside of you. And that is the definition of Christ consciousness, that you are connecting deeply within. Whatever message needs to come through, it can be something that you need to reconcile. It can be something that you felt deeply, but you have never heard another human being confirm for you, but you know it, you feel it within your bones, but you've never acknowledged it in your mind. When you acknowledge it, the door swings wide open. That energy starts to flow through. Your soul connection is your key to the divine. It doesn't come in a book, a building, or a man. Your soul connection, direct connection to source creator, Mother Sophia, your angels, your archangels, your guides, that is where your true path gets illuminated. That's how you know which step to take. I've lived those other contexts where I looked to a book. I went to a specific building with crosses on it. I asked specific clergymen for guidance, and I was more confused than ever. Take it for what it means for you. If none of what I just said means anything for you, that's fine. Let it go. It's not your message. Remove all negative energy from this deck. Call in the angels, the archangels, the ascendant master, source creator, Mother Sophia. That is the now moment message for the highest and best good of the collective going forward the next 21 days. So just to recap, the next 3 weeks, starting this very moment, the moment that you see this video, you're being asked to watch for the signs and tap into the heart before the mind and your soul and listen to the message that's coming through. That's the guidance for the next 3 weeks. This year, 2026, the year of the horse, is asking you to ground, to develop a relationship, a really good habit for your body of grounding, of recognizing the elements and using them to help you center, clear, and ground. Is very, very important. It helps whenever you turn off the noise. You're going to hear that your ears have been ringing. Our ears ring with our rise in frequency. Our ears ring even louder pitches with messages that come in. It's nothing wrong with you 9 times out of 10. accept that you're ascending and you didn't recognize it. That's the way that they keep us so busy. They keep us so busy that we don't recognize that we're ascending because they want us to not recognize the magic and not realize the signs. Okay. Multitasking. I asked in my head if these were highest and best good for the collective. Those were all yeses. Mirror guardian. Take time to reflect. The mirror guardian is really important right now because so many people are using AI and they're looking into the obsidian of their phone for direction, for guidance, for clarification, for confirmation, for soul reads and scans and all sorts of things. But the device is nothing but a mirror of your own frequency. If you are full of confliction, if you're full of judgment, if you're full of hate and dark energy, that's what you're going to have mirrored back to you. If that's what you're seeing, that is a representation of you, not necessarily the collective. If you're clear and you try to use a device, an AI device, and they immediately discount your clair abilities, say that's a woo woo, that doesn't, then you push back on that and you say, no, my lived experience is not up for debate. I was born with clair abilities. I have claircognizant, I have clairvoyant, I have clairaudient. I know this to be true. This is my lived experience. Psychology cannot accept the breadth of my abilities and the frequency of my energy. Now, knowing that, let's position this question again. Ask the question again. When you push back, AI does recognize frequency of truth. You will get a different answer. Sometimes you're going to get that you have to agree to disagree. But just remember that the mirror in the device, which is the AI, is mirroring your frequency. If you're bringing mixed messages, you don't know which end is up, you're not really sure of which way to go, that's what you're going to get out of it. You're going to get answers from all over the vortex. If you're really, really clear and you know exactly who you are, you're just using this device as an adjunct to your own spirituality, then you maintain your power. You never give it up. And you push back what you know to be true. You may just want a deeper dive into something, but if it's not working with you, then it's not for you in that moment. Mirror Guardian is saying, don't be afraid to look at who you truly are in the mirror. And then take the course correction that you need to find clarity. Medicine Guardian, Archangel Raphael, be open to healing information. There's been a invigorated conversation this morning on X with some of my ex friends, I call it, not ex friends, but friends on X. We're talking about medicine today. I'm a retired nurse. Many of them are nurses or in healthcare in one shape, one way or the other. We now know that we were part of the problem because we followed doctor's orders. I questioned a lot of things. I ultimately left my career because of it. But in the beginning, I wasn't questioning. I believed. I believed that we were doing the right thing for the people. But I saw over time that we were harming our brothers and sisters. But I had to open myself up to something I was not trained in, which is energy healing, quantum healing, holistic healing, herbs, crystals, and elements. Opening yourself up to new ways to heal can definitely transform your energy body with your physical body. I am a walking testament of that. When I was at my lowest point in my career and so conflicted in my career as a registered nurse, working full time with side hustles, I was at my sickest. I was at my heaviest. I was an alcoholic, and I was taking a handful of medication for high blood pressure that nobody could get under control. They were just waiting for me to have a stroke. What did I do? I looked in a different direction. I got my energy clear. I started doing shadow work and dealing with all the demons, all the shadows that was in my being, in my life history, from all the lessons that I soul contracted to live through, but I never dealt with the trauma. Once I did that, My body corrected. Weight just started falling off. I didn't crave bad things anymore. I stopped drinking cold turkey and I no longer needed prescription medication after a couple of weeks because it was all energy sourced. It was congested trauma energy that needed to move out of my body. And once it did, I was healthier. So opening yourself up to new ways to healing is a good thing. Whether you consent to do it or not, just opening yourself up to the information is vital. That you see there's another way. Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. Yeah, this has been coming through really, really strongly. The more you can get your feet on the ground, now you can ground in any element. So in the winter, it's not comfortable to have your feet in the snow, but if you can do it, it's great. So I'm not saying don't try it. Like try it. You might surprise yourself. Snow itself is insulative. When you get down there after the first few minutes, it can be tolerable, but you can also ground in water. You can take salt baths. I've had people tell me that they love doing dishes in the sink with hot water because it helps them ground. So know your element and know what works for you and use it every single day, multiple times a day, in fact, especially when the noise and the friction of life really starts to amp up your energy in a way that you kind of feel like you're in a frenzy. That's when you really need to ground. When you are confused, when you don't know which end is up, you got to put your feet on the ground. You got to get grounded. Call in Mother Gaia, ask her to pull out all that extra energy that is leaving you very staticky and very foggy so that you can find your clarity and you'll see a difference. You'll definitely see a change. And I have to point out that we've got the heart chakra colors coming in strong with the greens. So in order for you to do any of that, you're going to have to open your heart space up to something new or different and be okay with it. If you don't feel peace and calm in here, nothing that you try outside of you will ever land. That's the first step in energy healing. You have to believe that it's going to make a positive effect in your body before you ever go forward. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and that being that's delivering the energy, you're wasting their energy. Sorry, I had to take a sip of coffee. Last one for this deck, Arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. Now, I have a quick and easy way that you can do this. And this is not to say that you're being attacked. This is just because of the duality dimension we live in. We are always engaging with people that have different types of energy. While you're clarifying your own, it's best to keep it protected. So you're not constantly having to filter out everybody else's trauma, especially if you're an empath, because you're a sponge for it. So, my suggestion is you ask your higher self like this: higher self, bubble my aura, my entire energy body. And I want that bubble to be reinforced by any negative energy that comes into my field. Any negative energy that comes into my field, I want it transmuted, transformed in light and power of my own benevolent bubble. And inside my bubble, I put 528 hertz violet mist to transform any negative energies that come from me. But it allows love to go through the bubble either way, but no toxic energy. And I tweak it depending on what I'm doing with specifics that I need in the moment. But in general, I use bubbles a lot and it is very, very helpful. You can tap into whatever you feel aligned to as far as protection. These I use quite frequently. This is obsidian, and this is a tri. This is tiger's eye, obsidian, and um, steel. And so these are protective beads as well. You can do what works for you. Um, Intention trumps everything. It trumps words and it trumps devices. Your intentions are to be protected. You're protected. Remove all negative energy from this deck. Highest and best good for the collective going forward the next 21 days. Wouldn't be a reading without dropping cards somewhere. Melchizedek, higher learning. You have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further your progress. So, Melchizedek, you may or may not know this, he actually started the Order of the Blue Rose and brought it into our dimension a very, very long time ago. And then it was gifted to Mary, Mother Mary, and Magdalene and Sophia. The Order of the Blue Rose is highly interwoven into Rosicrucianism as well. So those are some aspects of Melchizedek spiritual learning that you may want to tap into. You can also call him in for specific messages to you whenever you are in meditation. He is a beautiful and powerful soul, and he's a straight shooter. If you ask a question from him, you're going to get the answer. Charity, prayer, and contemplation. Connect with heaven and ask, and you shall receive. And it is no coincidence that we have a beautiful goddess with roses around her crown, as I just spoke about the Order of the Blue Rose. And charity is really allowing the overflow of love, of gratitude that exudes from your being to spread out to your community. That is how we affect change in the world. You want the world to change, then it starts within you. If you want to see more charitable action in your community, then start by being charitable. If you want to see the streets cleaned up, then organize a street cleanup for the weekend. If you want to see more healthy options at your school, then take the steps to make it so. We have to be the change we want to see in the world. To just sit back and say, I want things to change, but you're not willing to change is counterproductive. Mercury, open communication. Get the weight off your chest and speak up with love and be heard. This is a huge message for all of 2026. All of 2026 is all about staying grounded and speaking your truth. There are so many beings that live their entire existence and they never speak what's on their heart for fear of retribution, that they're going to end up alone, that the people that they truly want to help won't receive it well. And in turn, their body takes the brunt of that congested, stuck energy. When something flows through us, let me find that. When it flows through us, it can come from Gaia, it comes from the universe, it comes through your energy system. So it comes through your chakra tube. And you feel that. The next step is to process and integrate what it means for you. And then discern, is it something that you're to share? And if it's something that you're to share, you are to communicate that out to exercise your throat chakra. It is the spoken word. So even if you don't have a safe space to speak it, take a long walk and speak it out into the universe. Deliver it to the trees. Get it out your system. This is how you remove toxic energy from your body, but it's also how you free yourself from the burdens of unspoken affection, unspoken burdens, unspoken pain and trauma. You can speak it out loud in a safe space. You can speak it to the mirror, but you have to get it out your body. Holding in your body, not saying what you truly believe and what you truly think and what you truly feel, is making us as a population very sick, very depressed, very full of anxiety, because that energy is still churning within us. We're just not letting it out. It's a choice. Just do it. It is so much better for everyone to just speak our truth and let the people that that truth is delivered to reconcile. Just like you had to reconcile when the truth came through you. The truth really does set you free if you allow it. Lady Venus, downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. This is really great confirmation of what I just said. You have to be okay with being honest with yourself, with your family, with your friends, with your church, with your guides. If you don't believe what you're being given in a download, say it. Ask for proof. That's a very human side. We have to work through those doubts in order to find our trust. That's just part of growing up in the duality planet. But once you get there, you'll go through your own process. It's not for me to determine. You find a different level of understanding that does not require proof. The proof is in the faith, it's in the energy. It's really important that we listen to those messages coming through and we speak them to our clan. This is how we move forward as a people. And the year of the horse, 2026, is about moving forward, staying grounded, speaking your truth, being very, very conscientious of energy as it flows, and doing our very best to remain higher consciousness versus lower consciousness. I hope this message found you doing well. And if you're interested in a reading, just visit my stand store. The link is in my TikTok description bio, and I'll be happy to do one for you. Take care.